Apparently, we've reached the point where America has discovered something absolutely fucking horrifying. Sailors aboard an aircraft carrier. Uncomfortable. Holy shit. Stop the presses. Call Congress. Get Anderson Cooper on the phone. Somebody alert the fucking United Nations because sailors have been at sea for a really long time. The food isn't always good. The plumbing breaks. The laundry doesn't always work. People stink. Mail gets fucked up. And they haven't been pulling into some exotic port every 3 weeks so everybody can get drunk and buy a t-shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, I have terrible news. That sounds an awful like the fucking Navy. I'm Tug. Welcome to the shit show. All right. I've deliberately stayed away from this USS Abraham Lincoln story for a while because every time I open up social media, someone else is losing their fucking mind over the conditions aboard the ship. No food, no hygiene products, broken toilets, bad showers, long hours, no port calls, and the big one, more than 260 fucking days deployed. More than 8 months. More than 200 days without anything a sailor would call a normal port call. Now, before anybody starts screaming at their phone, yes, that's a long goddamn deployment, and there have been real reports. Food, water, mail, hygiene, morale, mental health. Those things deserve attention. I am not telling the Navy to ignore legitimate problems. I'm not saying leadership gets to shrug and go, fuck it, they're sailors, let them eat paint chips. That's not my argument. My argument is that some of these people talking about this have apparently just discovered that military deployments fucking suck. And I'm sitting here wondering, what exactly did you think the Navy was? Did you think it was Carnival Cruise Lines with an air wing? Did the recruiter promise you a balcony cabin? Did someone tell you the Navy's guaranteed Wi-Fi, spa treatments, and a fresh towel animal on your rack every night? Because I got some disappointing fucking news. Sometimes the United States Navy goes to fucking sea. And sometimes when you're out at sea, things suck. What the fuck did you think the Navy was? I served in the Navy in the 90s aboard the USS America, CV-66. And this may come as a shock to some of young sailors, but there was a time when ships did not have Wi-Fi. I know, somewhere in the E3 just dropped his fucking vape. No Wi-Fi, no FaceTime, no Netflix, no sitting in your rack scrolling TikTok while telling everybody how traumatic it was that the vending machine ran out of Monster. Your connection home was mail, actually fucking snail mail, paper, envelopes, stamps. And if your girlfriend back home suddenly discovered your best friend Steve was just a really good listener, you might not find out until about 3 fucking weeks later. That's deployment. And your rack wasn't some technological command center either. You had a tiny fucking coffin to sleep in, one light that may or may not work. Whether that son of a bitch worked was apparently decided by Neptune himself. No outlet by your head, no USB-C, no docking station. A mattress about as comfortable as a flattened cereal box, a curtain, which I never had one, and a locker under your ass. And another sweaty bastard sleeping 18 inches above and below your fucking face. Congratulations. Your accommodations are ready. 5 stars, would recommend. And yes, shit broke. People were talking about broken toilets aboard Stinkin' Lincoln. You know what sailors call a broken toilet? Tuesday. Ships break. Plumbing breaks. Air condition breaks. Sometimes the fucking equipment that's supposed to fix the broken equipment breaks. You got thousands of human beings living inside a giant steel industrial city, floating in salt water, running 24 hours a day. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? Fix the goddamn toilets? Absolutely. But a broken shitter aboard a Navy ship is not exactly Pentagon Papers. The water. And since we're talking about living conditions, let's talk about water. Because I don't remember everybody aboard ships skipping around with reusable Stanley cups, making sure they hit their daily hydration goals. Half the time, you could taste fucking JP5 in the water. You take a drink and think, interesting bouquet, a hint of chlorine, steel, and jet fuel. So no, I wasn't exactly drinking 8 glasses of that shit a day. I wasn't grabbing a soda out of the vending machine. I was drinking bug juice. Ah, that neon-colored sugar water every sailor remembers. And we called it bug juice because nobody with functional eyesight believes that fucking color came from nature. And the best part, we use that same shit for cleaning. You could take bug juice to rust and corrosion. Think about that. We were drinking something and simultaneously looking at it and going, you know what? This may take barnacles off the fucking destroyer. Somehow we survived. Probably explains a few things about us, but we survived. The food. Then there's the food. Apparently there's been stretches aboard Lincoln where fresh food ran low and meals got repetitive. Fine. Make sure sailors are getting enough calories, but some of the stories online make it sound like there are 5,000 emaciated sailors hunting rats in the passageways with sharpened fucking spoons. Let me tell you about Navy food. I ate chili mac for breakfast, chili mac for lunch, and then you would walk into the galley for dinner thinking, surely these motherfuckers came up with something different. And there it was, chili fucking mac. Again. I swear to God, we ate chili mac 3 meals a day for about a week and a half. At some point, it stopped being food and became a weapons program because after 8 or 9 days of chili mac, human digestive system starts producing chemicals prohibited by the Geneva Convention. I could walk into the work center, cut one loose, and clear out the entire fucking space faster than a general quarters alarm. Nobody even asked who did it. They just ran. Eyes watering, people gagging, somebody reaching for emergency breathing devices. Chief screaming, "Who the fuck ate chili mac?" Everybody, Chief. We all fucking did. At that point, we'd eaten so much chili mac that every time somebody farted, the Serbs in Yugoslavia probably thought NATO had started another bombing run. Somewhere over Yugoslavia, an air defense operator was screaming, "Incoming!" Nope. Just somebody in the division breaking fucking wind. And before someone says, "Well, Tug, that's shipboard life," I've also been a dirt sailor. Maybe without the convenience of the fucking ocean. Which means I've lived the MRE lifestyle too. MREs. Meals ready to eat. Government acronym for meal resembling excrement. Eat enough of them and the whole thing turns into a prison economy. I'll give you corned beef, hash, crackers, peanut butter for your chili mac. No, my drink mix. Fuck off. My girlfriend's mom. Now we're talking. And after enough MREs, your digestive system has exactly 2 settings. Nothing happens for 4 fucking days. Or everything happens right fucking now. And you're 600 yards from the nearest shitter. There is no middle setting. So if somebody tells me the food wasn't very good, okay, welcome aboard. The port call thing. Then we've got, you haven't had a port call. Yep, that's shitty. Port calls fucking matter. Everybody who's deployed understands why. Sometimes you desperately need to get off the fucking ship. Walk somewhere that isn't gray. Eat something that didn't come off a stainless steel serving line. Drink a beer. See normal people. Remember that the whole planet isn't painted haze gray and underway. And I'll give you a perfect example of how fast that shit can disappear. We were coming down out of the Adriatic, headed for the Suez, the ditch, a couple hours from pulling into the port call, the Gulf. The UAE, I believe. Everybody was already mentally off the fucking ship. There'd be plans made, guys arguing on who's buying the first beer, who's going where, who's going to get lost in a taxi, and who's coming back with no money and some god-awful tattoo nobody remembers getting. We were that fucking close. And then the word came down, change of mission, report to station, return to the Adriatic. That's it. Port call, gone, scrubbed, deleted like it never fucking existed. You want to talk about morale whiplash? There's nothing quite like going from I can practically smell land and freedom to turn this motherfucker around and going back to work in the span of a couple hours. Did we bitch? You better believe we fucking bitched. Sailors can bitch about anything, but the ship had a mission. World events changed, so our schedule changed. Apparently, nobody informed the enemy that we had liberty plans. You inconsiderate motherfuckers. Then I keep saying, this is a war nobody wanted. What the fuck does that even mean? Show me the war everybody wanted. Where is there a national survey? Please select your preferred options. A for peace, B for war, C, war, but only if I get double Hilton honor points. No sane person wants war. Nobody wakes up Tuesday morning thinking, you know what really could spice things up? Yeah, a regional fucking conflict. But geopolitical decisions aren't made with Instagram polls. And I'm watching people online who couldn't find the Strait of fucking Hormuz if I highlighted the motherfucker in fluorescent orange. Suddenly explaining naval strategy, carrier operations, force projection, rules of engagement, crew endurance, all because they watched a 60-second fucking TikTok. Congratulations, Admiral. When do you take command? And yes, politics is all over this motherfucker. Let's stop pretending politics isn't pouring gasoline all over this fucking story. It is. There are people who fucking hate Donald Trump. Not, I don't like his policies. Not, I wouldn't vote for him. I mean, fucking hate him. And for some reason, those people, anything bad that happens while Trump is president automatically becomes something Trump personally caused. Deployment too long? Trump. Mail's late? Trump. Showers got mold? Trump. Seaman Smuckatelli can't find deodorant? Apparently Donald Trump personally bought the last fucking stick at the ship's store. And a lot of the loudest people online don't give a flying fuck about the Navy. They don't understand the Navy. They don't understand carrier operations. They don't understand logistics. They just hate fucking Trump. So if something can be turned into, look what Donald Trump is doing to our sailors, they strap that motherfucker onto the outrage rocket and launch it straight into social media. Now, Trump doesn't exactly help himself either. Asked whether the deployment has gone on too long. His answer was basically, not nearly long enough. Jesus Christ on a motorbike. Maybe don't answer the morale question like Captain fucking Bligh. You can defend the mission without sounding like you're trying to break Magellan's record. So now one group is screaming like the administration is torturing sailors, and the other group is screaming everything is perfect. Families are worried, politicians are grandstanding, media smells clicks, and social media does what it does best. Take a complicated issue, strip out every ounce of nuance, and turn it into two groups of assholes throwing feces at each other. You know who I actually care about in all of this? The sailors, the Marines, the kid working 12, 14, 16 hours, then crawling into his rack for a few hours, waking up and doing it all over again. They're doing their job. And they've been doing them for a long fucking time. But here's what they don't need. They don't need the American public turning them into helpless little victims. These are United States sailors and Marines. They're not children trapped in some fucking summer camp. They're not fucking hostages. They're professionals serving on board one of the most powerful warships ever put to sea. Treat them like professionals. Which brings me back to the USS America. Now, let me tell you a story. USS America. We had a Marine on board named Lance Corporal Zachary Mayo. And one day, Mayo disappeared. Man overboard. Except nobody knew exactly when the fuck he went over, or if he was hiding on board somewhere. Eventually, the search kicks off. Aircraft, ships, the whole fucking deal. And against unbelievable odds, the dumb bastard survived. Spent roughly 36 hours floating around in the Arabian Sea before Pakistan fishermen found him and pulled him aboard. 36 fucking hours. I'll give him that. That's incredible. He survived something that should have killed him. But then came the story. Mayo said that after Thanksgiving dinner, gone outside onto an area he wasn't supposed to be on after dark, and the door swung open and kicked him overboard. And a whole lot of us aboard the ship heard that and went, bullshit. Everybody and their fucking brother had an opinion, and plenty of people aboard believed the dumbass jumped. And somewhere between leaving that flight deck and floating alone in the Arabian Sea, possibly thought, well, this may have been a terrible fucking idea. Now, let me be clear. I'm telling you what people aboard the ship believed. I'm not telling you the Navy officially concluded that he jumped. It didn't. Because here's where it gets interesting. The Navy ran an investigation. Not 2 pages, not somebody going, hey, Mayo, what happened? A 93-page fucking investigation. And they rejected the claim that the door knocked him overboard. The ship's movement didn't support the story the way he told it. And he wasn't supposed to be on that sponson after dark in their first fucking place. So the investigation basically said, we can't tell you exactly how your ass ended up in the Arabian Sea, but the door story, yeah, we're not buying it. Mayo stuck with the story. Of course he did. What else are you going to say? All right, Gunny, you got me. Unauthorized swim call. And then this thing became a national story. Rescued by fishermen, survived 36 hours, came home, interviews, television. That dumbass even ended up on the late night TV show. Those of us off America are sitting there watching all of this thinking, you've got to be fucking kidding me. The civilian world sees a miraculous survival story. Sailors aboard the ship see that fucking guy. That's one of the greatest things about military stories. There's the official story, and then there's the news story, and then there's the story everybody in the fucking smoke pit believes. Sometimes those are 3 completely different stories. And that's exactly what I'm seeing with the Lincoln. People outside the Navy hear the list. Long deployments, bad food, bad broken laundry, no port calls, crappy living conditions. And they immediately picture some unimaginable humanitarian disaster. The sailor hears that same list and goes, okay, what else? I'm not saying every complaint is bullshit. I'm saying context fucking matters. There is a baseline level of misery that comes with military deployments. There just is. Anybody telling you young sailors otherwise is lying to them. Here's the line that actually matters. So here's the whole thing, one time plain. There is a difference between hardship and negligence. And somewhere along the way, people stop understanding the distinction. So don't ask, are the sailors comfortable? That's not the fucking standard. Ask this instead, are they adequately fed? Do they have safe drinking water? Can they keep basic hygiene? Can they sleep enough to safely do their jobs? Can they get medical care? Can they get mental health support? Is leadership actually fixing legitimate health and safety problems? Can the crew safely accomplish the mission? If the answer to any of this is no, fix it immediately. And I mean the mental health part too. If a sailor is genuinely reaching their end of the rope, that is not something I will ever joke away. I've spent 3 fucking episodes talking about veteran suicide. I'm not going to tell veterans to open the door and ask for help and then turn around and tell an active duty kid at the edge, suck it up, pussy. That's not this. But if the complaint is, I'm tired, I miss home, the food sucks, I haven't had liberty, my rack sucks, I stink, I hate the fucking deployment, then, brother, I got sympathy. I've been there. Damn near everybody who's actually deployed has been there. But sympathy doesn't require pretending military service was ever supposed to feel like a sandals resort. 2 things can be true at the same fucking time. Lincoln's crew deserves proper food, water, sanitation, medical care, and mental health support. And a long, miserable deployment is not automatically abuse. Both true. that used to be called nuance. Then social media beat the motherfucker to death with a shovel. The Tug Chili Max standard. Actually, I have a solution. A national standard. I call it the Tug Chili Max standard. Before any member of Congress can declare shipboard conditions a humanitarian catastrophe, they've got to spend 10 days underway. No private room, no staff, no fucking Wi-Fi, no DoorDash, no press secretary, rack, curtain, steel, noise, and 3 meals a day. Chili Mac. Day 1, they'll make speeches about resilience. Day 2, selfies. Day 3, somebody demands an investigation. Day 5, a bipartisan bill passes the Senate, 100-0. Day 7, somebody invokes a war powers resolution against fucking Galley. And by day 10, the ventilation system has been declared a Superfund site. At least then they'll have some fucking context. To the professional outrage crowd. To the people sitting comfortably at home using sailors as props for whatever political argument you've already wanted to have, kindly go fuck yourselves. If your deep concern for sailors' quality of life magically appeared 5 minutes after you realized the story could be used against a politician you hate, I'm questioning your fucking sincerity. Where were you during the other long deployments? Where were you when people were living in shitty, moldy barracks? Where were you when maintenance problems stacked up for years? Under Republican administrations, Democrat administrations, every flavor of Pentagon leadership in between. If you only care about military quality life when it's politically useful, you're not supporting sailors, you're renting them. And that's fucking disgusting. So here's where I land on the USS Abraham Lincoln. To the crew, you've been out there more than 8 fucking months in a combat environment. Launching aircraft, maintaining aircraft, moving ordnance, running reactors, standing watch, cooking meals, turning wrenches, keeping that giant motherfucker moving through the water. And keeping thousands of people alive while you do a national mission. That's hard shit. And you've earned every bit of credit for it. If something legitimately fucked up, speak up. If your chain of command won't fix something that threatens health and safety, keep pushing. And if you're mentally getting close to the edge, tell somebody, medical, chaplain, chief, friend, somebody. Don't sit alone with that shit. And do not jump off the fucking ship. I've already seen that movie once. It ends with Pakistan fishermen, a late-night TV appearance, and a 93-page fucking investigation. Because here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. The Navy has always been uncomfortable. Ships are cramped. Things break. Food sucks. Mail gets lost. Port calls disappear. Deployments get extended. People stink. People get tired. People get pissed off. And sailors have been bitching about the Navy since about 6 fucking minutes after someone invented the Navy. That's what we do. We bitch about the food. We bitch about the ship. We bitch about the chief. We bitch about the captain. We bitch about being underway. Then we pull in the port and bitch about duty sections. Then we spend the next 30 years telling everybody how much we fucking miss it. That's the beautiful stupidity of the whole thing. Because when I look back, I remember the tiny racks, the broken shit, the JP5 water, the bug juice, the canceled port calls, and Jesus Christ, the fucking chili mac. And somehow those are the stories we still laugh hardest about decades later, because it was never about being comfortable. It was about doing the job, taking care of the person next to you, getting through the shitty days, and completing the mission. So take care of the crew of the Lincoln, fix the real problems, listen when a sailor tells you something's actually wrong, bring them home when the mission allows it. But if the complaint is just, the Navy is uncomfortable, well, I got some devastating news for you. It's the fucking Navy. Sometimes the food sucks, the toilets are broken, sometimes liberty disappears, sometimes you smell like ass, and sometimes you just look at the whole situation embrace the suck and say, suck it up, Buttercup, because tomorrow morning the alarm is still going off. Watch still needs standing. The aircraft still need to fly. Ship still needs to sail. And the mission still needs to get fucking done. And if you've been there, you already fucking understand. Happy sailor is a bitchin' sailor. This is Tug. Stay salty, you magnificent bastards.